What's good, y'all? We got these migrants are putting fear into black women. Hey man, we on the road to 100K, okay? If you want to hit that like button, subscribe button, and turn on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. Shouts out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. Let's see what it's hitting for.
We are here today because a black woman was assaulted by 3 people right here in this very spot.
The Jada McPherson incident that happened in Queens, New York has Black America talking for a lot of reasons. Number one, it does appear to be an element of a racial undertone going on here. It's a racist attack. You have 3 individuals, or at least 2 of them, from Romania. We thought they were Hispanic, but it's not true. They were from Romania, and these Europeans are beating on this black woman while at the same time they refuse to give up this particular parking spot that one of the family members is holding for the mother. The second part about this is that while the attack was happening, nobody was willing to help except one person. And this is the point that the protesters brought up.
A 21-year-old woman was beat right here in this very spot. And I tell you, if it was
By
a white
2 men.
woman, you wouldn't have let it happen like that. If it was a white woman,
Nobody did nothing.
if it was a Jewish woman,
Everything y'all did.
everybody in New York would be outside right now. Well, because it's a black woman, y'all think it's gonna slide, but we not letting nothing slide.
Now, the brother is right. If this was a white woman or a Jewish woman attacked by these same individuals, it's going to get more airplay. But this is a black woman, so nobody cares a lot about it. And he definitely is right. But there's a certain advantage that we're not talking about in this conversation that we all overlooked. And there's definitely
No one
privilege going on
overlooked
right
it.
now. But it's not black or female privilege. And the hint was dropped by Jada McPherson herself. You see, when Jada McPherson was interviewed, she was asked about what actually happened during the incident.
Basically, when I pulled up and then he seen me trying to park, he basically came, put the trash can behind me and sat there.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't run him over. I can't so I came out and I tried to talk to him. I'm like, you can't
To
sit there
him.
and hold a spot with a trash can.
Yeah, because it's not your
property. So basically, I just went around the block a couple times, came back, and then he just was enraged because I probably came back. That was a chance for him. Yes, that wasn't a woman. Everybody, and then the news posted
that was the mother and daughter, but that wasn't a daughter.
Mad. I was like, that is not.
I guess they were respecting the pronouns.
Yeah, but it's like he's biologically a man.
But wait, I want you to get the most important part that she says.
And then the news posted
that was the mother and daughter, but that wasn't a daughter.
Mad. I was like, that is not.
I guess they were respecting the pronouns.
Yeah, but it's like he's biologically a man.
So if you notice, Jada McPherson is talking about the individual that attacked her. And that individual is Sabrina Starman.
A grown
now,
man.
Sabrina Starman identifies as a transgender woman. But Jada McPherson doesn't see Sabrina Starr that way. She sees Sabrina Starr as a man.
Because that's what.
And of course, most people may or may not see that, but I noticed that before this incident came out, everybody was saying, yo, that is a man that is hitting Jada McPherson, or the lady. Before we even knew who Jada was, that's a man. And that's the most interesting part of all of this. You see, at the same time, while the news media is making this a racist situation, what they're not talking about is this a transgender situation, okay? And the transgender person is attacking a black woman, and the individual was born a man, but nobody wants to mention that this individual that's actually hitting Jada McPherson was born genetically a male and is stronger and is bigger, okay? And Jada was upset that several news outlets called Sabrina Starman a woman. If you don't believe me, let's look at them. This was ABC7. The news clip article says, exclusive, woman describes violent brawl with neighbors over a parking spot in Queens. And it circles here in the red, I circled this.
As a small business admin, managing employee reimbursements can feel
They're going,
overwhelming.
bro. That's what they gonna do,
Two
bro.
women were arrested over the fight, and police are still searching for a third person. The New York Post, which gave an interview, says, "Mom-daughter apologized for a wild NYC parking spot brawl after hundreds of death threats, but victim."
And this is the apology. I mean, what are they supposed to do? They're news. They're gonna get criticized if they're gonna get criticized regardless, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't buying it. Again, this is the New York Post identifying Sabrina Starman not as a man, but as a transgender woman, and even as a woman altogether, because it's saying mother and daughter apologized. Now, what did the websites that focus on black issues say? Remember, they're all about supporting the black community. What stance did they take? Well, The Root said, young black woman finds herself in a racial brawl in NYC over a what? Now, again, they're going to call it the racism on this, but the undertone that is ignored is a mother and daughter will be taken to court for assault for third degree.
Well, see, whenever you first played this video, it could be in question whether that's a man or a girl. You know what I'm saying? Because the person they are tall. You know what I'm saying? He is tall, right? But he has some breastises. And in the video, they was jiggling and moving around. You know what I'm saying? Because whenever I first seen the video and reacted to it, I said that. I was like, hey, it looked like, you know, I wasn't sure neither. You know, that's what they were saying, though. But, you know, at that point in time, it wasn't necessarily clear until she came out and said, hey, that's a man. You know what I'm saying? So they're posting the initial, you know.
Now,
so I wouldn't necessarily blame. I would definitely blame the New York Post because they came with the apology after the original video. You know what I'm saying? So
they're going to call it the racism on this.
If you want to say something, it'd be about them for the most part.
Ignored is a mother and daughter will be taken to court for assault for third degree and harassment of the second degree. Clearly, The Root doesn't want to talk about the fact.
And you know, the police book him as a female, then that's what they're gonna classify him as, bro.
That the person that was attacking Jada McPherson was indeed born a man. But again, they would like to be politically correct. And also understand, The Root says they love the black community. Black Enterprise, which is a great magazine for the black community, well, let's see what position would they take. The headline says,
man, ain't nobody, man, I ain't never even heard of neither one of them, bro. What was the first one? I barely even heard of New York Post. I just know what that is because just happened to know, bro. But come on, man, magazine, ain't nobody going to these websites.
For the black community, well, let's see what position would they take. The headline says, a black woman was viciously attacked over a parking space and neighbors stood around watching. But they can call out the neighbors stood around watching. What did they say? A mother-daughter duo is facing assault charges. So again, Black Enterprise.
But they didn't even put in the fact that. But see, here's the thing that O'Shea Duke is missing, though. And all these sources and whatnot is missing. They're missing the fact that it was actually a third person, and that third person was a man. They're not even putting that in there at all. They just saying mother daughter. Yeah, that's wrong. But there's also a third person that's a man. That's not a bumblebee. You know what I'm saying?
Mother-daughter duo is facing assault.
That's the actual brother of that person.
So again, Black Enterprise doesn't want to talk about the fact that Sabrina Starman was born a man. Okay? That's not important for them because this is a mother-daughter duo, and that's what they're saying. Then I came across some information on
mother,
TikTok,
son, and son
I saw
duo.
a video where a transgender individual or transgender woman had a video talking about, is this a transgender conversation? And they wanted to rebut the fact that Jada McPherson thought that Sabrina Starman was actually a man.
Sabrina doesn't give man in any way, shape, or form. that she was trans, but even her voice, even though it might be a little deeper than what people are used to, we all know some woman somewhere, cishet woman, that has a low or raspy tone of voice.
So she's saying, listen, Sabrina Starman doesn't give off male energy.
Huh?
She doesn't sound like a man. She doesn't, just because the voice is raspy, how could you identify that individual as a man? Well, I want to rebuttal it like this. Was a man or it like this? Number one, the main conversation is, why was a man or a woman or anybody in a parking spot that you don't own? If that individual was not doing that, we wouldn't talk about transgender or heterosexual or homosexual. It wouldn't matter. Now, while this individual believes that Sabrina Starman doesn't give off male energy, you were not the one receiving those punches, okay? And so according to Jada McPherson,
hacks, AI attacks, phishing.
That's true.
They're all exploiting the same thing.
that was a man. That should not have been hitting her. Again, these are all opinions and everybody has one. But to the person being attacked,
right,
they felt like they were in a fight with a adult man and not necessarily a woman that was like her. That is her own experience. I understand what you're saying.
They probably got evicted, bro, because she said that they moved her shit. Like, she got a whole new apartment and stuff, and she didn't have to pay. They felt for her or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they probably got evicted after they got arrested and all type of shit, bro. That's probably why the bitch was crying.
But that is what is going on. But then this TikToker brings up some strong points.
I don't think that the trans conversation fits into this case, into this scenario. I think that Sabrina is trying to save face.
Man,
and
shut
Sabrina
the fuck up.
threw that out there to try to release some of the heat of the fact that you and your racist mama jumped this black girl because she was black, trying to prevent her from parking in a space that you
motherfucker, man. Oh.
don't fucking own.
Now, the TikToker is saying here, look, Sabrina needs to stop using the trans movement to basically save face.
No.
Like, you attacked this person over a parking spot that you don't own, so transgenders don't have anything to do with this at all. However, the fact that you're trying to put us as transgenders into the mix, you're making us look bad, and you made a bad decision. That's all on you. Stop putting the community at risk. The next part was even more interesting.
And when you have like Sabrina bringing up the fact that she's trans in a situation where she was obviously in the wrong, it makes people not in the community, and it makes people observing the community question the validity of the rights that community deserves.
The TikToker says here that it makes people who are not in the community or looking outside of the community question the validity of what the transgender.
Y'all, I can't say too much on here, man.
Movement deserves. And if you can look at what the validity is, we see it. Because now Sabrina Starman is considered a woman and is getting off with this as a woman, and it's not being prosecuted as a man. It would have been different if it was a black man, okay, that hit Jada McPherson over a parking spot. If it was me that hit Jada McPherson over a parking spot, dare I say a gay man who didn't identify as a transgender woman over a parking spot
of all time.
But because we have somebody who is transgender identifying, so now it's a woman on woman thing, and this is the scary part for black women. Not only are migrants in the same case replacing people in the black community, now what you're going to have is for black women, many of them feel that they're going to be replaced
What type
in the
of clip is this, bro?
gender. So now what happens is that if you get into it with a U.S. citizen that's a transgender, or a person that is from, a migrant, and you're in New York City and you're in a sanctuary city, well, now it's just two women getting into it, okay? And now you have a 6'3" woman or a 6'2" woman And then what's going to happen is the news media is going to back them up. All right. So now the only thing we can do is talk about this is racist, but we can't call out really what's happening here. And that is a person that's born a male is beating on a female. And if you call that out, then all of a sudden you're not politically correct and you hate the LGBTQ community. And this is the issue that black women are going to be facing in the long run. You see, now the rights of women in America, according to many that I've looked at on TikTok, they feel like those rights are becoming less and less. You see, 10, 20 years ago, if this happens, then hey, Jada McPherson is going to get a lot more justice. But in today's world, it doesn't work like that. And women got to understand that this is where the world is going to go. That a person can say, I'm a transgender woman, and then turn around and then fight you over the fact that, you know, hey, you did something wrong. And then, you know what? I'm a woman like
the
and
motherfucker
woman,
couldn't
and
even
then
fight.
The news will get back up there and support them. Even black sites.
Bro, you gotta
are gonna
quit
support
playing
them.
that,
Those are just
bro.
two women fighting. Where the black community, many of us are looking at this and like, well, that's not what it looked like when they were fighting. It looked like it was definitely a person that was masculine that was fighting a woman that was a woman. That's what it looked like to many of us who were looking at it regardless. Now, can you say if it was Clarissa Shields?
I look at it as an emotional crash out.
If she's fighting somebody, yes, yeah, okay, but that's actually a woman, right? But we're talking about just an untrained person versus Jada McPherson that was attacked. And keep in mind, she was attacked by Sabrina Starman first, okay? Sabrina Starman.
It's in the last name.
Yeah, they broke up in a bitch.
It's in the last name.
Attacked her first. And if black women are not careful, in 20 years, this is going to get worse. All right. And this by any means is not any hatred on the LGBTQ community, but those rights are already there. They already have those rights. All right. And it happened before our eyes without us even really realizing it. And what I would like to do is to say, hey, listen, I want to give a shout out to George Macon from Street Media TV. He gave me the idea for this video and the thought process in which I was able to break it down. It was not on my own volition, but I did add to it once he gave me a really, really good idea. So I want to give credit to where credit is due. Go check him out on his channel and subscribe. Peace.
Hey, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you don't hit that like button, subscribe button, turn on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. If you made it to the end of this video and you bored, check out this video to the left or check out my music to the right. Just drop some new shit on platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good shit. I'll get at y'all on the next one. I'm gone. T-Boy P9.